Hey there, folks. Welcome back to our channel. Are you low on income? Plus, you got debt to repay? Well, then have a seat and listen up, because we have some practical tips that you can use to get out of debt on a low income. On average, people in the U.S. owe about $5,221 on credit cards and $17,064 for personal loans. If you add stuff like car payments and medical bills, it gets even trickier to handle all that debt, especially if you're not making a lot of money. But you can plan to get out of debt even on a low income by following these tips. Tip number 1. Know that you owe. Imagine this. You're standing at the front of a mountain, ready to conquer it. But here's the catch. You can't see the mountain. You don't know its size, its curves, or even its peak. Sounds like a bit of a puzzle, right? Well, paying off debt is a bit like climbing that mountain. You're all set to conquer your financial struggles, but you need to know exactly what you're dealing with. Facing what you owe might seem intimidating, but if you're going to pay it off, you need to know the exact amount. Make a list of all of your outstanding credit card statements, medical bills, loan payments, or utility bills, and add up the total owed. Alongside the principal balance, note the interest rate, late fees, and any potential penalties you might have to pay. Without a clear picture of your financial situation, paying off debt with a low income is impossible. Tip number 2. Stop taking on new debt. As the German proverb says, he who is quick to borrow is slow to pay. Now, this may be difficult to do if your monthly expenses are bigger than your paycheck, but it's important to stay away from new debt if you're already struggling to pay your bills. As you focus on paying off what you owe, try not to take on new debts. Don't open new credit cards. Don't seek additional loans or default on payments you can make. While it can seem tempting to pay off your current debt by opening new lines of credit, it's best to reduce the number of debts you have, not grow them. In your debt management plan, one of the initial steps is cutting up your credit cards. Make a firm decision to live a cash-based lifestyle. Starting a new phase of life without accumulating new debt is of utmost importance. Now, let's talk about tip number 3. Create a budget and start tracking your spendings. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, why don't you take a second to hit that like button and press the subscribe button if you already haven't done so. When you're trying to pay off debt on a budget, it's important to know how much money you're earning and where it's going. Take your list of debts and start creating a budget. This helps you compare how much money goes out each month for minimum debt payments and living costs to how much you're earning. To set up your budget, first write down your income and then list your expenses. Subtract the expenses from the income. This should be zero. This kind of budget is called a zero-based budget, where every dollar has a job. Track your spending carefully. Gather your bills or log into your online accounts to see what you owe, the interest rates, minimum payments, and whom you owe. You can use free budgeting apps like Mint or Good Budget to track your bank account and balances. If you want to check out those apps, check the link below in the description section. Tip number 4. Cut your spending. Now you have all the info you need, from what you owe to a plan to tackle the big challenge. It's time for action. Just like when you're starting something new, begin with the basics. That means controlling what you spend. To manage your debt payments better, you might have to spend less money on other things. Begin by looking at the big things you spend money on, like rent and transportation. If your car payment is too much, think about getting a cheaper car, or use alternative transportation like Uber or carpooling. If your fancy apartment is costing you too much, maybe you can move somewhere cheaper, at least until you're in control of your debt. You could also save money in many different ways. Try cooking at home instead of eating out. Cancel subscription services you don't really use. Look closely, and you'll find things you can cut back on. After you find those things, update your budget plan. Put in the actual numbers for the next month, including the amounts for debt, and stick to them. Time for tip number 5. Pay off the smallest debts first. Enter the world of snowball method. You might know the saying, great things are made up of many small things put together. When you look at your list of debts, that total amount might seem big and scary. Getting rid of debt when you don't earn much money is not easy. But celebrating little wins can help you stay motivated. When you lower the number of people you owe money to, it can make you feel less stressed. If you've decided to pay off your debts, begin using the snowball method. With the snowball method, first find the smallest amount you have to pay for any of your debts. Instead of giving a little bit to each debt, focus on paying off this small one entirely. Once it's done, move to the next smallest debt, and keep going until you've paid off everything you owe. Move from the smallest debt to the largest. It's like knocking down the little dominoes first to take down the bigger ones later. Tip number 6 is about making an extra source of income. There are plenty of opportunities to earn extra money through accepting gig work with various schedules and time commitments. Explore your skills and passions and find ways to monetize them. Whether it's freelancing, tutoring, or starting a small business, there are countless opportunities out there. You can use platforms like Upwork.com or Fiverr.com, where you can start offering your freelancing services and start making money right away. Other than that, think of other work you can find locally. For example, you could deliver food. Think Uber Eats. Shop for and deliver groceries like TaskRabbit. Join a rideshare business. Babysit, walk dogs, work in a restaurant, do yard work, or clean homes. Remember, a side hustle can be a great way to meet new people and expand your horizons. The internet is a free source where you can find tons of videos and articles on how to start a side hustle. Additionally, you can find ways to learn all about side hustles from internet personalities like Ramit Sethi, Chris Galbo, and Pat Flynn, who show people how you can make additional income and share success stories of their students who turned their hobbies and skills into profitable businesses with minimal investment. Come up with ways that will bring you extra cash and be ready to commit time, effort, and money to elevate your side hustle. This way, you'll be well on your way to financial well-being. Our final tip is all about your mindset. It's only you who can decide whether you will be debt-free or not. The key to paying off debt, even with limited funds, is to keep your motivation high. Remember, this journey is a marathon, not a sprint. Don't exhaust yourself before reaching the finish line. Stick to your targets and avoid accumulating new debt. Make a promise to live within your means until your debt is cleared. Allocate a monthly allowance for guilt-free spending. Don't forget to celebrate your debt payoff milestones. Set enjoyable and reasonable rewards for each achievement and jot them down to have something to look forward to. Staying motivated on your debt repayment journey, especially when dealing with a limited budget, is like nurturing a fire. It requires consistent attention and care to keep that flame burning brightly. The good news is, since you are here at Investor Broadcast, we give you tips that will put you in good financial shape for the rest of your life. Click on this video next to find out more frugal tips that will put you in a better financial position. And there you have it, my tips for you to get out of debt on a low income. Stay tuned to Investor Broadcast and see you soon, Frugal Heroes.